Okay, so good morning, everyone. Uh, Thank you for joining into this. So this session is basically with the intention of educating you people as to what is this course at all, chartered accountancy. Uh, should you be doing it? I mean, is this the right choice for you if you want to do it? And primarily the presentation, the focus is on students who have uh, just now finished their 12th class, okay, or plus two, second PUC, intermediate second year, whatever you call it, because across different states you have different names, right? So the primary target of this presentation is people who have just now completed their 12th or plus two, or probably some of you are stuck with your board exams, I guess. Like majority of students in Karnataka who are into state board, their English exam, I guess, is still pending. Okay, by the way, I have just so that there is lesser interference, I have muted all the participants mics, so right now only I can speak. So if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat. There is a chat option. You can type it on the chat so that I'll get the questions. So at the end of the session, we can take the questions. Also, the Zoom call lasts only for 40 minutes. Since it's already around maybe 10 minutes since we have been on the call, maybe another 30 minutes is what the call will last, and we'll all get disconnected. Just press the same link again and we can reconnect to the call. The way you have connected to the call now, after 30 minutes when we get disconnected, we'll continue with the same link. Just click on the same link and use the same ID and same password, and you will be able to log in back in case we get disconnected. So if you are a student who has just completed second PU or plus two or 12th, or if you've already completed, okay, maybe 1 year back or 2 years back, whenever, if you've already completed, so this session is primarily for those students and the parents of those students, or maybe even those students who are about to, maybe next year you're going to take plus two exams or 12th exams. So we are basically looking at what are your options, is this course the correct course for you. So that's what we are looking at right now. So the people who have just joined in, uh, so we are just beginning with the presentation. You have not missed anything as of now, so let us begin. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So we basically are intending to educate you about what is this course, chartered accountancy, so that whether you should do it or should not do it, or whatever decision you take, you should be making an informed choice. You should be knowing everything about this course, and only then you should be choosing whether this course is for you or not. So before we go ahead, so let me, if any questions are there, you can just keep typing on the chat. At the end of the session, I will take all the questions. Uh, Now, before we go ahead with the session, let me just introduce myself. Okay, so just a minute. I think more people are joining. Just give me a second. Yeah, so that's about me. My name is Vijay Krishna Dharani. I'm a chartered accountant. So I run this academy called Kavach Academy. We are based out of Bangalore, and I'm the principal mentor of the academy. And I'm also an honors graduate from Delhi University. And I hold a general management certification from National Institute of Financial Management. And since the last 11 years, I've been into teaching majorly for chartered accountancy students. I'm also an adjunct professor at Christ University in Bangalore. I'm also a visiting faculty at multiple colleges of Bangalore University. Earlier, before starting my teaching career, I used to work with PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the top consulting firms in the world. So I used to be a risk advisor there. And before I started my career with PwC, earlier to that, I used to be a system integration specialist at Accenture. Hope you would have heard about Accenture, which is again a global MNC, which is primarily into technology consulting. So I used to be, working for them. Now, let us proceed. Today's session, exactly what are we going to cover in today's session? So let us look at those aspects. Okay. So before we go ahead, it's not just about chartered accountancy. Any career which you choose, few things have to be clear in your mind, because majority of you are aged between what, 17 to 20 probably. Everyone is falling between those age groups. Whether you choose chartered accountancy or not, or whichever career line you choose, that's fine. But few questions have to be clear. First thing is, what are you looking? What are you looking at? Okay, what do you want from life? Because if you want something, you should be choosing a career which gives you that. Correct. So that clarity is needed. What exactly do you want from life? Correct. And the other question is, do you correctly understand what you want? Because sometimes at your age, probably you might not really understand what you want. If I ask you what do you want, you might not be able to tell me this clearly, this is what I want. So it's necessary at this age to first build that clarity. Do you correctly understand what do you want? And if you understand, can you define it? Okay, this is exactly what I want. Like some people could say, I want respect. Some people could say, I want money. Or some people could say, I just want a degree. So what exactly is it, and why do you want it? That clarity has to be there. And in life, if we are growing, what kind of growth are we looking at in life? That question you need to answer it to yourself. Okay. And also, what is your mission? What exactly do you want to do in life? And do you have a vision? Vision is long term. Where do you see yourself 10 years from today or 20 years from today? So these are the questions which you have to ask yourself, and you need to answer them to yourself so that you can make a better choice. A lot of times what happens is young students make a career choice, and once they enter into that field, then they start disliking it. This is not what I wanted. Things like these happened with me also. When I was in 10th class, after 10th class, everyone has to make a choice. You want to take science, arts, or commerce, and I chose science. And once I went into science, my 11th and 12th, I absolutely did not enjoy science. I was not studying properly because I was not liking the subjects. And then after 12th, I realized, no, science I'm somehow not able to enjoy. So that's when I thought, okay, let me switch to commerce and see. So after my 12th, I switched from science to commerce, and I took BCom honors, and simultaneously also started my chartered accountancy. Chartered accountancy in the beginning was, I was not liking it again once I took also, but slowly it grew on me and I started liking it. So sometimes it takes time to really understand what you like, but it's really important to answer these kind of questions before even you make any kind of choice. Now let us see what exactly are we covering in this session. We are going to answer these 6 questions, okay, in this session. One is, what is this chartered accountancy? What do chartered accountants do? Okay. Second question is, how important is a chartered accountant? Third, is it a good career choice? So many people are confused whether should I do CA or not. Is CA good for me or CA not good for me? Correct. So we'll answer that question also. Next is, if I choose to become a CA or a chartered accountant, how should I start? How will I become a chartered accountant? Next is, okay, if I once I finish off my CA and I am a chartered accountant now, what kind of platform does it offer me? After that, what? Where will I go? Last is, what is the cost? If I want to do CA, how much money do I need to spend? So what's the cost? All these questions we are going to answer in this session. Cool. Now let us look at each question one by one. Now see, let us address your first question. What do chartered accountants do? Now these are multiple things which chartered accountants do. Okay. Now if you see the circle which is coming, okay, in the left side, these are the core things which a chartered accountant does. For example, if you see the first thing, auditor. Chartered accountant may be an auditor. Who is an auditor? An auditor is someone who is looking at a company's financial statements and saying that everything is fine, all the money has been used correctly, no one has been cheated, correct, and he is approving the financial statements of a company. So that's an auditor. You can become an auditor. Or see the second one, taxman. Taxman means you can become a tax consultant, because in chartered accountancy you would be studying a lot of taxation, income tax, and now you have goods and service tax, GST. So you have in-depth knowledge about all forms of taxation. So probably you can become a taxman who is a tax consultant. See the next one, there's a legal advisor, because by the time you finish your chartered accountancy degree, you will have expertise in lot of laws. For example, you will have expertise in corporate law. Apart from corporate law, you will be having in-depth expertise in security exchange regulations, foreign exchange regulations. You will have knowledge about mercantile and business laws. You will be having knowledge on employment laws. So you have a very broad legal knowledge base. So you can even choose to become a legal advisor. In fact, a chartered accountant is eligible to go to a court as a lawyer. He is not allowed to step into the high court, but up to high court, up to the tribunal level, a CA is as good as a lawyer. Okay, so legal advisor is something you can choose, or you can become an investment banker, because at CA multiple levels you'll be studying a lot of subjects on financial management, financial planning, and later on you'll be looking at subjects like capital markets, that is your stock markets. So you will become an investment expert by the time you finish your CA. So you can choose a career into your investment banking side. See the next one, data analyst. So this is a very new field nowadays. Data analysis is a new field. Now, if you look at Facebook or Google or even your WhatsApp or the thing which we are doing right now, Zoom, all these are using data, right? At every point, so much data is getting generated. Like imagine Amazon or Flipkart. How many transactions are they doing every day? Correct? So much data is getting generated and someone has to analyze the data, because only when you analyze data, it becomes information. Correct? Unstructured is data. When you structure the data, it becomes information. Through information, you can gain knowledge and you can apply the knowledge and make some gains. So we need someone who needs to analyze data. And yes, chartered accountant is well equipped to actually analyze data. So you can become a data analyst, or look at that. What is a systems analyst? Understand? Systems analyst is, nowadays everyone is operating on computer systems, is it not? So everyone is looking at data processing. If you go to any company today, even smallest of the companies, do you ever see anyone not using a computer? Absolutely not, right? Everyone is using systems. So you can become a system specialist. In fact, I started off my career as a system specialist. So I joined Accenture immediately after qualifying chartered accountancy as a system integration specialist. It's actually an information technology job. So in fact, my first designation used to be senior software engineer. You might wonder that what is a chartered accountant doing in the software line? We normally think engineers will be sitting in software line. So even a chartered accountant can get into software lines because you have in-depth knowledge about systems. Why? Because both at multiple levels of chartered accountancy, you're studying subjects like information technology, you're studying subjects like management information systems control audit. So you have a lot of knowledge about systems and computers. So you can even look at systems kind of jobs. Now look at the other circle which we have. So there is strategy consultant. Now by the end of chartered accountancy, you will have studied so many different types of subjects and so many different lines of expertise you would have had. You will be in a position to actually drive the strategy of a company. How should the company run? Okay, which kind of products it should sell? Where should it sell? Which markets? Where should we do banking? Correct? How much taxes we have to pay? How to manage the factory or the production line, labor? How to comply with law? Everything from all sides, from all aspects, you have knowledge. So you can drive the strategy of a company. So you can become a strategy consultant. And look at that. There are two boxes. If you see, there is a CFO and CEO. CEO is the chief executive officer. He is the person who's taking all the decisions in the company, how the company should be running. Whereas CFO is the chief financial officer, who is looking at taking all the decisions from a financial angle. Every financial decision, the CFO is taking, whereas CEO is taking every decision, correct? So both roles a chartered accountant can occupy, because you have very broad knowledge base. You can run a business. So you can become a CEO, you can run the finances of a company, you can become a CFO as well. Similarly, see finance manager. So finance manager is a little bit more specific job. Basically, every company every year they want to know whether they made a profit or did not make a profit. Correct? What assets they have, what is their valuation, they want to know these things. So we need someone who actually makes the books of accounts, someone who can make the books of accounts and tell the company whether we made a profit or not, right? So these things are done by someone called a finance manager. So you can choose to become a finance manager. Similarly, a management consultant. Who is a management consultant? Management consultant is someone who advises the company's management in decision making. Suppose the company has to take a decision whether to launch product A or product B. Correct? Which product will be more beneficial if we launch in the market? So this kind of decision, they need some help from someone who can tell. So chartered accountant can pitch in like you're a management consultant. Got it? So there will be so management consultant is someone who is giving advice to the management on multiple decisions. You can also become a risk advisor. Who's a risk advisor? Every business is facing some kind of a risk, is it not? Every kind of some kind of a risk we are facing. How to reduce that risk? Correct? Because if we can reduce the risk, the company can survive for longer. Correct? The company can make better profits, is it not? So risk advisor. In fact, my second job, which was at PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. PricewaterhouseCoopers is top 4 consulting firms in the world. They are called the Big Four. The Big Four are the top 4 consulting firms in the world, which cover PwC, there is Deloitte, there's Ernst and Young, and there's KPMG. These 4 companies or firms are called the Big Four. They are the biggest 4 consulting firms in the world. So I was working for PwC as a risk advisor. So we used to have clients, businesses where I used to go and advise them that this is where we have a risk. You can do these things to reduce that risk. So these are just a broad areas to give you an idea that this is all what a chartered accountant can become. Are these the only things which a chartered accountant can become? No, there are so many other fields which we can choose, but these are some main fields where you can have your career. So if you see, each of them is totally different. A system specialist is an IT guy. A data analyst is a data scientist, so he is into data science. A management accountant is into decision making, whereas a finance manager is into bookkeeping, writing the accounts. Correct? Investment banker is into telling you which stock to buy, which stock not to buy on the stock market. A risk advisor is someone who's telling you how much risk the business is facing, how we have to reduce. So every field is different. There's one more box. If you see, there's something called M&A specialist. So who is an M&A specialist? M&A basically means mergers and acquisitions. So if you actually see, like if you have recently heard about it, there is Flipkart, right? Flipkart sold itself to Walmart, and Walmart purchased Flipkart for around $17 billion. So who decides these prices? Like who told Flipkart that you have to sell your company for $17 billion? Why not $1 billion? Why not $5 billion? So these are chartered accountants again. So when 2 companies are merging, that is merger. Acquisition means one company is buying another company, like Walmart bought Flipkart, right? So these kind of decisions where you need to value companies, again chartered accountant can. So if you see, there's a very broad spectrum. Chartered accountant has careers in multiple lines. So I hope you got a fair idea what all you can become if you do chartered accountancy. Now let us look at the next question. How important is this job? I mean, is chartered accountancy an important job? So let us look at it. Now see, if you see what is chartered accountant, so he has a lot of responsibility. When you become a chartered accountant, they have substantial responsibility on you. Why? Because banks, cooperative societies, income tax departments, brokers, everyone is depending on you. Anyone who is deciding to invest in the market or buy shares of a company, sell shares of a company, they are depending on your reports. So chartered accountant is very important because there's a lot of responsibility on him. Also, if you see, you are coming with lot of technical competence. By the time you finish off your CA, you have so much technical knowledge, you have the skills for it, and you can take up so many new roles. So there are so many things which you will be studying. So you have overall knowledge of business. So absolutely. So if you ask me, is the job important? Yes, it's very, very important because so many people are dependent on a chartered accountant for decision making. So you are actually filling in a very important role. Also, let me tell you that once you become a chartered accountant, the day you pass chartered accountancy exam, you will become a gazetted officer. Your name will be notified in the official Gazette of India. You will be equivalent to a gazetted officer. So obviously your job is very important. You have a lot of responsibility being a chartered accountant, because so many people are trusting your reports. Once a chartered accountant gives any kind of a report, it is trusted and people assume that whatever report you made is true. So there's a lot of responsibility. It's a very important job. Now let us look at the next question. For you people, if you want to choose chartered accountancy as a career, is it a good choice for you? Should you be choosing chartered accountancy? So look at this. Absolutely. Why? Because look at the number of areas you're getting expertise in: accounting, auditing, taxation, financial management, consultancy, advisory services, both public sector, private sector, finance, management, accounting. So you are having exposure in so many areas. So obviously it is worth doing chartered accountancy. See, also nowadays CAs are at the top of the management. When you look at any company, whether it is Tata, Birla, Reliance, name any company. In fact, do you know Birla is the whole Birla company owns so many brands. I hope you would have some of you would have been using Idea Cellular, Idea cell phone. Idea is owned by Aditya Birla. If you have heard about brands like Peter England, Van Heusen, or even more supermarket, you would have heard. All these are owned by Aditya Birla, and all these businesses and is headed by Aditya Birla and Kumar Mangalam Birla, who actually is the chairman. He's a chartered accountant. So if you see, top people in the management are usually chartered accountants. So for your career, if you're looking is it a great career? Absolutely, it's a great career, because you get a lot of knowledge in so many areas and you actually get to be on the top in any management. So yes, it is a great career for you. Now let us look at, if you want to choose chartered accountancy, how to do it. In a simple way, there are 3 steps. Immediately after your 12th class, you will be going into the first level of CA. The first level of CA is called CA Foundation, and the second level is called the CA Intermediate, and the third level is called the CA Final. If you finish all these 3 levels, you will become a chartered accountant. Now, right now, after 12th class, you will be getting into the first level, that is the CA Foundation. Now, if you look at CA Foundation, see what level of knowledge you should be having if you want to pass CA Foundation exam. Application, comprehension, and knowledge. So 3 things you should be having. One is obviously knowledge you should have, correct? Comprehension means if you read something, you should be able to correctly understand the meaning, correct? And application means whatever you have understood, you should be able to apply that, correct? Which means all these skills are called basic knowledge. So whatever subjects, what subjects are there in CA Foundation, we'll get to that in a while. So whatever subjects are there at CA Foundation, we are looking at knowledge, and comprehension means reading and able to understand what you have read and trying to apply that to some problem. So this is all basic knowledge. So if you have basic knowledge, you will be able to clear CA Foundation. If you clear CA Foundation, the second level will be called CA Intermediate. CA Intermediate, if you look at, there are different levels. See, application, comprehension, knowledge, these 3 things are there at foundation level also. One extra thing has been added at intermediate level, that is analysis. So you should also be able to analyze things. For example, in the subject of accountancy, you should be able to analyze books of accounts. If you're looking at financial management, you should be able to analyze the financial statements of a company, correct? If you are looking at law subjects, you should be able to analyze the legal provisions. So just by having application knowledge, you will not be able to pass CA Intermediate. CA Foundation exam can be passed by having application knowledge. But when we look at CA Intermediate, you need to be having analysis level knowledge. You should be able to analyze things. Suppose you pass your CA Intermediate level. So you go to the next level, that is your CA Final. If you look at CA Final, extra 2 things are getting added: evaluation and synthesis. So not just analysis. Evaluation means if two options are there, which is better, correct? That is called analysis, right? So you should be able to evaluate. Now, evaluate means choosing between multiple options, which is the better option. Should I invest in a Reliance shares or should I invest in an Infosys share or a Tata share? This evaluation comes. And synthesis. Synthesis means processing information and delivering information in a meaningful way. Synthesis means understanding end to end what is happening in a business and able to make sense and able to make decisions. That is called your synthesis. So if you see, foundation level talks about basic knowledge. When it goes to intermediate level, we need working knowledge. Working knowledge means if someone is clearing CA intermediate, they should be ready to work in the field, and they should be ready to do not just theoretically, practically you should be knowing things. But when you get to final level, we call it expert level knowledge. So foundation is basic, intermediate level is working knowledge, and CA final is your expert knowledge. So unless you become an expert in the subjects, it is difficult to clear CA final level. So this is a broad understanding. But exactly what happens, how does this exactly work? Now look at this. This is the detailed step-by-step process. Now, first is I hope everyone is just cleared second PUC or intermediate second year or 12th class, or just now you're appearing in the exams. So if you see, there is a date called June 30th. So we are right now sitting in April. So within June 30th is the last date. Before June 30th, you will have to register for CA Foundation exam. If you register for June 30th, before June 30th, your exam for CA Foundation is going to fall in November. So right now we are sitting in April, your exam is going to be in November. But to appear in November exam, you will have to register before June 30th. Clear? Now, once you qualify foundation exam will happen in November 2020. Whether you have passed or not passed, the result is going to come in January 2021, which means 2 months later. November is the exam, January is the result. If you clear foundation, pass the foundation level exam, immediately you will register for the next level, that is CA intermediate level. Now, once you get into CA intermediate level, CA intermediate exam will be coming in next November. Clear? November 2020 is foundation exam. November 2021 will be your CA intermediate exam. So in intermediate, there are two groups. We'll get to that. What are those two groups? So you'll clear both the groups. Once that is done, what are you going to do? See the other part of the chart. Register for 3 years of practical training. Now this is very important because this happens only in CA. No other profession has these kind of things. Like if you look at engineering, or if you look at a BCom or whatever other degrees, nothing has practical training in it. Here there is a full 3 years of practical training. That's the reason CA has so much value in the market, because by the time you even become a CA, you're already coming with 3 years of experience. So what is the practical training? You actually go and work in an office. That is what is this practical training. You have to work in an office for 3 years under a chartered accountant. So you have to choose a practicing chartered accountant, and you should start working under him, and you have to work for 3 years. And when you're working for those 3 years, in the last 6 months, of your practical training, that is, once your 2.5 years training is over, in the last 6 months, you will be giving the CA final exam. Getting the logic? So this November 2020, you will be writing foundation exam. If you pass, next November 2021, you will be writing CA intermediate exam after 2.5 years from then. That is, we are looking at May 2024. May 2024, you will be writing CA final exam, and you will become a CA roughly by January 2025. So that is, we are looking at around 4.5 years of time. Getting the logic? So to do the whole course of CA, you will be spending minimum 4.5 years. Assuming that you are able to pass all the exams in the first attempt, it will take around 4.5 years from today. Okay, today we are sitting in what? April. you will become a complete qualified CA by January 2025, roughly around 4.5, little less than 5 years. That is the minimum duration. Okay, you cannot finish CA before that, correct? But that is assuming all the exams you're passing in the first attempt, correct? If you are not passing in the first attempt, for every exam you miss, you will be wasting around 6 months. Getting the logic? Because exams happen once in every 6 months. Okay, for every time you don't pass, you'll waste 6 months. Now, in this chart, if you see, there are some training programs also. You see, there is something called ICITSS. Basically, that is an information technology training which happens for 4 weeks. You will have to finish that also in between, correct? And there's also an orientation course which they have not mentioned in this chart. You need to do an orientation course also. If you look at the right side table, there again you have certain trainings, advanced ICITSS. So there again you will be doing a orientation course there also. And in fact, after passing the whole CA also, you'll be having something called General Management and Communication Skills Training Program. So by the time you are a CA, you're coming with lot of practical experience. 3 years you have worked, correct? And you have 3 years of work experience. Plus you have 3-4 trainings which you have completed. So you have certificates for all the trainings which you have completed. So by the time you complete CA, you are ready for the job market and you are the most qualified person. So this is how you actually, this is the process of doing your chartered accountancy. Now, the next question is this. After becoming CA, what are the kind of opportunities I have? What is the platform that this degree is providing me? So look at these. There are multiple opportunities. Suppose tomorrow you want to move to England, UK. So Chartered Accountants Institute has a tie-up with Chartered Accountants Institute of UK, correct? So you can move to UK, you can write 1 or 2 additional exams. You will also be given a CA degree in the UK. Or you can move to Canada, right? You can move to Ireland, you can move to South Africa, right? You can move to even smaller countries like, Kenya, Bahrain, Oman, Nepal, Bhutan, Tanzania. Down if you see Australia and New Zealand, England and Wales. Down you see ISACA. ISACA is basically CISA. CISA is Certified Information Systems Auditor. So Chartered Accountants Institute has so many tie-ups. So after CA, if you want to move further in your career, you want to study further, or you want to settle down in a foreign country, there are so many opportunities. India itself, we have already seen there are so many opportunities, right? You remember we have seen this list already, correct? What all you can become. These are all things which you can become in India, correct? Not just in India, you can become any of these things in any of the foreign countries also, because chartered accountancy is giving you that kind of platform, because these are all called MOUs. MOU is Memorandum of Understanding. The CA Institute has memorandum of understanding with so many countries, institutes. So if you want to pursue a career abroad, CA can help you with that. Now let us look at the next question. What is the cost? How much cost does it take to do CA? So how is it a costly course, or how much it costs? So let us look at that. Now see, CA foundation level registration costs around 10,000. Coaching costs around 25. Around. Coaching depends upon institute to institute. I'm just giving you an estimated figure. Okay, these are not to the point figures. These are rough estimates. Foundation registration 10 and coaching around 25. So for foundation level, you'll spend around 35,000. For the second level inter, your registration comes to around 20,000. Coachings come to around 55,000. I've put 52 there, correct? So roughly around 75,000 you will finish with your CA inter. Then if you look at CA final, the registration fees is around 30,000. I have not mentioned any coaching fee, because you may not take coaching at final level. We can't say, because you will be working in an office, because there is 3 years of articleship training, right? Practical training, you'll be actually working in an office. Will you have time to take coaching? We can't say. Okay, so I have not put a figure. So if you add up all that also, we are roughly looking at around 1.5 lakh, correct? Including coachings, including registration. This all including books also. You'll be getting books also in your registration fee. So around 1.5 lakh, 1.5 lakh, correct? You are done with your CA. But you need to understand that when you're working 3 years while doing CA, Minimum in those 3 years, yearly 1 lakh rupees, that is the minimum. Okay, average stipends are around 6,000 a month. Higher level stipends go up to 15,000 a month. So when you're training for those 3 years, you actually earn money, correct? You earn a stipend. So in 3 years of training, you'll actually earn around 3 lakh rupees. So even though you have spent around 1.5 lakh rupees for your books and registrations and coachings, by the time you finish chartered accountancy, you have already earned back around 3 lakh rupees. So net to net, actually, there is no cost. Even though you have spent 1.5, you have recovered 3 lakh rupees. So actually speaking, the cost is nothing, correct? The cost is actually nothing. Getting the logic? So that is how much CA costs you. Okay. So I hope I've answered all the questions now. So initially we began with these questions, right? These were the questions. What does chartered accountant do? Is it an important job? Is it a good career? Correct? How to do it, right? And after doing, what's the platform we have and what is the cost? So these have been answered now. Now let us look at where you can start off. You can take coaching for chartered accountancy foundation level. In so many institutes are there. We are also one option. So we are Kavach Academy. So we are located in Bangalore in Indiranagar. So the difference between us and the other coaching centers is we take only 30 students per batch. Other coaching centers have a large number of students, usually running into hundreds usually. But we restrict our class strength maximum, only 30 students will be there in the class. So that gives a lot of personal attention to the students. Also, every week we'll be having mock tests and we will be sharing feedback with the students. We'll be discussing how to write the papers better. We'll be giving feedback so that the student improves. So on a weekly basis, we are going to have tests and evaluations and feedback sessions. And all the teachers in our institute are professional, they are experienced, they are well qualified. So you have passionate people teaching, and that will help you in understanding the concepts better. And in our institute, we separately have made a study area with a mini library. If students find studying at home inconvenient, you can always use our facilities. You can sit and study. You can study in groups, or you have a peaceful place basically where you can sit and study. Now, this is what we do. We conduct weekly mock tests and we do live evaluation. What do you mean by live evaluation? All the papers are evaluated along with the students, so that students get to know what kind of mistakes even the other students are doing, so that they don't repeat those kind of mistakes in the exam. And we teach you how to present the answers. For example, in CA foundation level, there are two subjects which are subjective and two subjects which are objective. We will get to that in a while. So subjective means you have to actually write your answers. So we'll help you how to present your answers better. We'll help you with syllabus analysis, which topics are more weightage. And since CA involves so many laws keep changing every 6 months. That's why we'll be discussing something called amendments. Amendment means all the changes that are happening to the laws, we'll be helping you with that. And every 15 days, we'll be having a personal counseling with students to understand if they're understanding all the topics, they're able to follow the classes, any particular problem they're facing in any particular subject. So we address that at a personal level. Also, all our faculty are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can anytime call them or get in touch with them on message, WhatsApp. They'll be more than happy to clear your doubts. And we also have an important interesting feature, which is guest lectures. That is, apart from our regular faculty who take classes for you, usually monthly once we try to bring in some industry expert who is going to talk to you and inform you more from a practical perspective of how things are in the industry, how things are in the market. So this is how we are different from the other institutes. So till now we have had close to around 70% of success rate. So close to 70% of students whoever have joined our institute have cleared chartered accountancy multiple levels. Normally there is a notion that CA is very tough. If you look at the market rate, out of every 100 who start CA, only around 15 to 20 actually end up becoming a CA, passing CA. So it's actually not tough. The problem is the kind of approach. So correct, if you take the correct approach, chartered accountancy is easy. You can crack it. Just that you need the right guidance, someone who can tell you how to approach the subject, how to approach the exam, and you get that guidance from us. So that's the reason why we have a higher number of students passing from our institute. We have around close to 70% pass percentage. So which means out of every 100 people who join our institute, around 70 make it. But as I told you, we take only 30 per batch. And our institute is now, we have just completed 5 years. And I have been teaching, as I told you, close to 11 years now. But as Kavach Academy, as this institute, we have been there in Bangalore now since 5 years with the name of Kavach Academy. I still teach at multiple other universities, so I keep in touch with students. Plus, also I have my own consultancy. I have my own practice as a chartered accountant, and I run other couple of other businesses. So that keeps me updated on what's happening in the industry. So now this was the generic presentation. Now I'd actually like to show you what exactly is there in the syllabus. Okay, so let me just share that in CA foundation level. Okay, let's say at CA foundation level you want to now join CA foundation level. What exactly should you be looking at? Okay, which subjects are we talking about? So let us look at those. So I'll take you through the detailed syllabus now. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me share the screen where you can see the detailed syllabus. Just give me a second. Let me take you through the detailed syllabus. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen. So if you want to do CA, now that you know, now till now you've understood what is CA, how many levels are there, correct? And what are the opportunities after you become a CA? I hope you've got a decent idea now. Okay, now we are looking at, if you choose CA, if you start with CA foundation. CA foundation means you have to register now before June, and your exam is going to come in November. What subjects do you have to study right now for the November exam? Look at this. So we are looking at first subject, which is accounting, principles and practice of accounting. So if you look at accounting, it goes very in depth. This is not something like what you have already done in your 12th class, plus 2 or PUC. It's not that level of accounting. The concepts have to be extremely clear if you have to clear CA foundation. So you need to brush up your concepts. You need to be crystal clear about everything in accounting. Now look at this, what all is there. So we have the theoretical part of accounting, then we go into the process, accounting process, then we look at bank reconciliations, we look at inventories means stock, then we look at depreciation, concepts of depreciation on assets. I hope you had some of these things in your 12th, right? Only difference is the level of questions that are coming in CA exam. Those can be answered only if you are very clear with the concepts. See, special transactions are covered, like your bills of exchange, consignments, joint ventures, royalty, all these concepts. Then there are how to finalize accounts for sole proprietorship businesses, how to finalize accounts for partnership businesses, how to finalize accounts for non-profit businesses, how to finalize accounts for companies. So that is all that we cover in your accounting, and the concepts are going to be in depth. Now see the second subject we are looking at. Okay, by the way, if you have any questions, you can keep typing on the chat window. Once my whole session is over, I'll take up all your questions. Now look at the second subject. There is business law. So business law, we cover 5 acts. So this is the legal side. So one, we are covering the Indian Contract Act. Then we are going to Sale of Goods Act, Partnership Act, LLP Act, that is Limited Liability, and we are looking at Companies Act. All of them, especially the first 4, are covered very, very in depth. The 5th one, Companies Act, is very vast. So at CA foundation level, we cover only the basics. Advanced level we cover in CA intermediate. Further expert level things we will be covering at CA final. So that is your second subject. So these 2 subjects which you have just seen, accounting and law, these 2 are subjective, which means you have to write. Getting it? You have to write the paper. Also see, in this law subject we also have business correspondence. So where first they get into grammar, they go into what is communication, types of communication, then they get into actual grammar, sentence structures. So majority of you who have done from English medium, probably you will be comfortable with these, correct? These are all compound sentences, simple sentences. There's a lot of grammar, active, passive voice, vocabulary, there is comprehension passages, there's précis writing, okay, and there is writing skills, okay, article writing. So these are all report writing. So these are all your communication side of it. Okay, so law plus we have your English to some extent, but this is more not just grammar English. It's more from a practical approach. How do you actually write a report? Okay, how do you write an article? Correct. It's more from a practical. See, how do you write your resume? Resume is your biodata or CV. How to write your resume? Correct. How to arrange meetings, how to send notices of meetings, how to prepare agenda for meetings, how to draft minutes of meetings. So this is all very practical level of communication. And also, if you look at the third subject, this third subject is not a subjective. The third subject is a multiple choice paper. So look at that, business mathematics and logical reasoning, correct? So some people who did not have maths at all in your 11th and 12th, you might have a little bit of a problem in understanding this, but you can catch up. No need to worry. Okay, I have come from a science background to commerce background, correct? So obviously for a commerce student, just one extra paper, maths won't hurt. So this will have three things. One is mathematics, one is statistics, and the third part is logical reasoning. If you see mathematics, you have ratios, proportions, equations, indices, you have linear equations, time value of money. This time value of money is very practical for a chartered accountant. Interest rates, compounding, sinking fund, annuity. These are all actual calculations you should know being a CA. Then we have permutation combinations, sequences, sets, functions, differential and integration, differentiation and integration. This is your maths part. Then we have logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is purely logic. Okay, like direction test, seating arrangement, blood relation. So these are all more like a banking exam kind of a test. You don't really have to study for these things. If you're logically very good, you'll automatically be good at these things. Then we have statistics, where we have statistical data description, measures of central tendency, probability, theoretical distribution, correlation, regression, index numbers. So maybe some commerce students might find that, oh, what is this? This paper is very complicated. Correct, I have not studied these kind of things, but not to worry. This is a multiple choice paper, and we will be training you for how to attempting these papers, and we will be teaching you from the basics. See the fourth paper, business economics. Again, this paper is also a multiple choice paper. So out of 4 papers, 2 papers are paper and pen subjective. You have to write a 3-hour exam. Whereas paper 3, paper 4, that is mathematics, statistics, logical reasoning, that is paper 3. Paper 4, which is economics, these are multiple choice papers, 2 hours, and you have to do 100 questions, 100 marks. Okay. So see the fourth one, that is introduction to economics, demand and supply, production cost, markets, business cycles. And you also have in the same paper part 2, that is commercial knowledge. That is, what is business, what is environment, what is the business organization, how does it run, correct, government policies towards businesses, who are the government facilitators, and common business knowledge. So if you look at, these are your subjects. So the total exam is for 400 marks, 4 subjects, 100 marks each. 100 marks for accounts, subjective paper, 100 marks for law, which is subjective paper, 100 marks for maths, which is objective multiple choice, and 100 marks for economics, which is objective multiple choice. Total 400 marks. Passing mark is 50%, that is half. So out of 400, you need to score 200 to pass. Getting it? Also, each subject also individually, you have to minimum get 40 marks. Suppose you get 40, 40, 40, 40. You have passed in all the 4 subjects, but you did not pass because total came to only 160. You have to get the total also. So you see that last line, 40% in each subject and 50% in aggregate, which means we need 40 in every subject. We also need 200 out of 400 in total. That's when you pass. Also in CA, we need to understand, you need to pass all the papers in one shot. Suppose this November you give the exam, you pass 3 papers, 1 paper you failed. You will have to repeat all the 4 papers in the next attempt, which will come in May. So all 4 subjects together you have to pass in CA. One subject and next time another subject, that's not allowed. So you have to pass all the 4 together. And how do you pass? 40% in every paper and 50% overall. Both criteria should be fulfilled in all papers together at one shot. So this is your CA foundation syllabus. I'll just take you through CA inter syllabus, which might be slightly advanced, but just to give you a look that what kind of subjects come at CA inter level, so that just you understand. See, CA inter again has accounting, but see, in accounting we are getting into advanced level where we are covering accounting standards. You see that AS1, AS2, these are all accounting standards we are covering. Then we are covering company accounts little bit in depth. We are covering investment accounting. Correct. We are covering partnership accounting, but conversion, which means partnership company converting into a private company, or a private company converting into a partnership firm. Then see, we have laws. We have advanced company law here, and we have other laws like Negotiable Instruments Act, General Clauses Act, interpretation of statutes. See, the third paper, you have cost management. In that, multiple topics are there which will help you in understanding how product cost is fixed, like how to fix material cost, how to fix employee cost, how to fix your expenses, how to fix your overheads. So multiple cost concepts come here: job costing, batch costing, contract costing, process costing. This is all subjects which help you in understanding how a particular product costs how much. Like when you buy a TV and TV costs you 20,000, why 20,000, why not 25,000? This is the paper which lets you understand the costing. And see, next we have a taxation paper which covers Income Tax Act, and we also cover goods and service tax, that is your GST. So that is your fourth paper at CA inter level. So if you look at the next thing, so see, we have GST. Then we have advanced accounting, where we again cover accounting standards, but we cover advanced topics like goodwill valuation, financial reporting, consolidated financial statements, okay, reorganization of companies. So we look at slightly advanced topics. Then you have sixth paper of auditing, where you look at how an auditor should make a strategy, how to make documentation in audit, how to control risk as an auditor, how to apply various audit procedures, how to audit a company, how to submit a report. Then we look at EIS and SM, that is strategic management and enterprise information systems. So here we look at the IT part, how IT is managed in a company. Then we look at how the company should be managed, that is strategic management. So we see it multiple process of strategy, multiple levels of strategies which we make. Then we have the final paper, which is your financial management and economics. So this paper, economics, but this is much advanced level of economics compared to your CA foundation. So here we look at how to manage money in a company, how to manage their investment decisions, or how to manage their working capital, how to fund a company. Then we look at macroeconomy. Correct. Macroeconomy is how does the company work? Okay, how does the company work? Public finance, how does it work? Okay, how does the money market work? International trade work? Because this is the environment in which the company is working. So this is just an idea, so that you get to know in future what are the kind of subjects you will be studying. So let me stop at this point. I hope now you have a fair idea, right, of what exactly the course is. Correct. Now let me take up your questions. Some people have sent some questions, so let me look at what are your doubts. Okay, any questions which you might have, you can just type it right now into the chat window so that I can take it up. Okay, so let me just look at what questions you have. Just give me a second. Yeah, so I have some questions. Let me answer them one by one. If you have any questions, you can ask me on the chat right away. I'll be answering them. Okay, so first question is from Ashutosh. He's saying he's giving his CBSE boards and 2 subjects are still left. What can I do? Ashutosh, even if 2 subjects are still left, you can still register in CA right now, because you have the hall ticket, right? Only 2 subjects are left, which means all the other subjects are already over, which means you already have your CBSE hall ticket for 12th. Correct? Using the hall ticket, you can immediately register for CA. As I told you, the registration fees for foundation is around 10,000 rupees, but only online payments are accepted. I can share the link where you can go and register. They will ask you to upload your hall ticket, upload your 10th mark sheet. Everything is online. You have to scan the documents and keep uploading. Okay. And you can register for CA even now. No problem at all. Cool. So see the next one. Yeah. How to become World Bank CA. See, World Bank is an organization. World Bank is actually the word which we use. The actual name of World Bank is called IMF, International Monetary Fund. Are there chartered accountants in IMF? Absolutely yes. But are there Indian chartered accountants? Maybe, may not be, because it's an international organization. It can hire people from any country. There may be Indian people also. In fact, if you have seen the news, very recently, I guess one Indian is about to get elected into the IMF as it's one of the board members. So yes, you have a chance because CA, being a CA, you have a chance to understand. You have an opportunity to understand both microeconomy and macroeconomy. So you can become an economist. So if you want to target a career in an international bank, absolutely possible. Many of my friends have joined when they passed CA, they got into banking sector. Some people got into Goldman Sachs, which is an investment banking company. Some people got into Indian banks like ICICI. Yes, you have an option to go into international banks also. And someone else is saying, can I do BCom with, okay, can I do BCom correspondence? Absolutely, yes. You can join BCom correspondence and simultaneously you can do your CA. Let me tell you, CA does not have anything to do with BCom. Without BCom also CA can be done, but it's always better to do it along with BCom because CA is a tough course. Some people who join CA in the beginning later might lose interest and may not study properly because CA needs effort. Because CA is not like a BCom. BCom with little bit of effort you can pass. But in CA you need lot of conceptual clarity. For that you have to every day study, devote time for studying. If you don't put regular study hours, then it becomes difficult. So as a backup plan, it's always better to have a BCom on the side. Yes, BCom correspondence is also fine. You can do BCom with BCom correspondence along with CA. Then there is another question that is coming. When should we start foundation coaching? Okay. So what we are doing is we have planned to start coaching online right now because of the lockdown. Since we do not have any other option right now. Normally we do not do online classes. Normally we do only face-to-face classes in Bangalore in our Indiranagar branch. But looks like the lockdown may not get extended, but educational institutions may not be allowed to open right now. So already I have just seen the newspaper today. So they were saying that educational institutions may be given permission to open only by September maybe. Rest all other things like shops and this and that will be open. Lockdown will not get extended hopefully. But educational institutions like colleges, universities, coaching centers, they may be allowed to open late, maybe July, August. Newspaper is saying September. So we don't know. That's why we don't want to delay. So we want to go ahead with the coaching online. So we are going to start off from the next week. So we will be starting our first class on Monday, that is the 4th of May. You can note it down. 4th May is when we will be starting off. Okay. So timings and everything we'll be updating you. Normally in our face-to-face classes, we do in the mornings. We do in the mornings from 9 o'clock to 1:30 is our regular class timings. Now, even the online classes will be somewhat in similar time. Morning 9 to 1:30. 9 to 11 will be one class. There will be a break. And 11:30 to 1:30 will be one class. But we believe in face-to-face classes where they are very highly productive. There's a higher probability of people passing. On online mode, I do not know how effective the classes are going to be because we have already been conducting since the last 6 weeks for our existing students, and all the students have told us that face-to-face classes are brilliant. When it comes to online classes, they are not that great because there's no other option. Like, see, you cannot speak to me right now when I'm speaking because if I switch on your mics, it's going to be a lot of disturbance. So two-way interaction is little difficult in online classes. It's usually one-way interaction. Yeah, I'm addressing your doubts. Two-way interaction is happening, but nothing like a live class. The environment of a live class, the energy of a live class, the enthusiasm, and the way concepts can be delivered in a live class is totally different. So obviously online we won't be able to do so much justice, but since we don't have an option, we want to start it off, but we don't want to overburden you guys right now. So initially we will do only 2 hours of a class instead of 4 hours. So instead of 9 to 1:30, we'll just do 9 to 11, 2 hours, so that you don't feel overburdened. And we'll do only 2 or 3 classes per week, okay, until the next 3-4 weeks, so that you don't get overburdened. So maybe 2 to 3 classes a week of 2 2 hours each, okay, so that you get an idea. But also, as I told you, we take only 30 students. We don't take more than 30, whether it is online class or offline class. We don't take more than 30 students per batch, okay. On first come first served basis, we take the students. So we focus on personal attention. So we'll be having even online mode also. We'll be having weekly tests. So we are going to be in touch with you personally and try to find out if you have any problem. So it is expected that you be sincere and regularly attend classes, regularly attend tests, and every day you have to put in some time to study. To begin with, let's say we have a 2 hour class, at least study 1-2 hours the same day. So how many hours class is there? That many hours you have to study also after the class. So, but that's what. So let us start with 2 to 3 classes per week. That is what we will start with right now. Okay. And later, if the lockdown opens and we are allowed to have face-to-face classes, we'll continue the syllabus into face-to-face classes. So May 4th is going to be your first online class. Now, another question has come. Is it possible to study CA Foundation without any coaching? Absolutely possible. No problem. I have not taken when I did my CA for CA Foundation. I did not take coaching at all. I passed myself in the first attempt. For CA Inter, you have seen 8 subjects are there, na? I took coaching only for 2 subjects. I didn't take coaching for all the 8 subjects. But since I didn't have coaching for the other 6 subjects, it took some time. I could not pass in the first attempt because I had coaching only for 2 subjects. In CF final level, also I did not take any coaching at all. I studied by myself totally. But again, it took a lot of time. Without coaching help, it's just that you are lost because no one is there to tell you what to study, what not to study. So it becomes slightly challenging and time consuming, but absolutely possible. Without coaching, you can clear CA. I have known some of my friends who have done CA without coaching and even have gotten all India rank. Now in CA, what happens is in foundation level, there is no, in foundation level also there are ranks. All India only top 30 ranks are given in foundation. So after 30, whether you are 31st rank or 10,000th rank, it's all the same. So only top 30 are declared. Similarly, at CA intermediate level, only top 50 ranks are declared. Same with CA final level, top 50 ranks are only declared. You can even score an all India rank also, no problem, without coaching. So yes, you can absolutely do CA foundation without coaching, but you have to be sincere. You need to understand. You have to everyday self discipline yourself, study, understand. If any help is needed, you need to get to your friends or teachers who can solve it for you. Yes, it's possible. Another question has come after clearing IPCC. So IPCC is the old syllabus. Now we don't call it IPCC. We call it CA Intermediate. So maybe the question is not complete, but maybe the question basically means what can I do after intermediate? Suppose I'm not able to clear final. Let me tell you, if you pass foundation, then you pass intermediate. You will be called a semi-qualified chartered accountant. Semi-qualified chartered accountant has a lot of value in the market. Semi-qualified chartered accountant right now has value equivalent to BCom plus MCom. So if you do BCom for 3 years, then 2 years MCom, in 5 years, what you can achieve, you can in CA achieve in the next 1 year, 1.5 years. By next November, you can crack both groups of CA Inter. What are both groups? We saw 8 subjects, right? In CA Inter level, first 4 subjects are in the group 1, next 4 subjects are in the group 2. That is, if you can clear all the 8 subjects, both groups, you will be called semi-qualified chartered accountant, and you have tremendous opportunities in the market, money-wise, opportunities-wise, careers-wise. Even if you do not complete the whole of CA, you will still be doing very well in life. So even with CA intermediate, or it was earlier called IPCC, so yes, you can have a great life, great career. Another question has come: what if I want to study online? What can I do? What I would suggest is, Instead of studying online, once you register with CA Institute, all the study materials will be sent to your home. Books are sent to your home for free. Instead of online, first you should be studying yourself, self-study. Because a lot of people think online is easy and I can just listen to the radio and audio and they're just teaching me and it's going into my brain. No. In the exam, you have to actually put the pen and paper and write. Just by listening and seeing to the video, you will not learn. You have to put your pen to the paper and write the answers and practice. So what I would suggest is books are anyway freely sent to your house. Read from the books yourself first. Try to understand the language. Try to understand the concept. This is for people who are doing self-study. So someone is asking, can you do totally online? So that's what. First, you have to read by yourself totally. And then something is missing, you can always refer to some online sources. With our academy, can you do fully online? We are not sure because we will do online classes only till this lockdown, this thing ends. Once the government permits the coaching centers to open, the online classes will stop and we will move back to the face-to-face classes in our Bangalore Indiranagar Institute. Now, another question has come. ICAI is not sending any books right now. Yes, because of the COVID-19 lockdown, ICAI will not be able to send you books for another 6 to 7 weeks. So close to another 1-2 months. So these are people I think who have already done the registration. I think a couple of people have already done the registration in the ICAI website for CA Foundation. Okay. So for those people, books will take a long time to come, but don't panic. When we will be starting classes on May 4th, we will be sharing PDF copies of those books so you can refer. So the whole book will be there with you, just that it won't be a physical book. It will be a PDF copy of the book. We will be sharing those. It is the same book which the institute is going to send you home. Same book PDF copy will give you. From there you can start studying. So another question has come, sir, after clearing one group of CA Inter, can we do articleship? Yes, we can do articleships. There are two groups in CA Inter. First group has 4 subjects, second group has 4 subjects. If you clear any one group also, you can start with your practical training. That is 3 years of work under a chartered accountant. But at least one group has to be cleared. Now, another question has come, how to read from ICAI Digital Learning Hub. To read from ICAI Digital Learning Hub, first you have to register with the CA Institute. You have to pay them the fees. You have to register for CA Foundation. You have to pay them the fee. Once you pay the fee and all documents are verified, you will be getting an intimation that your registration number is so and so. Along with registration number, they'll give you a login ID and password. Using the login ID and password, you can log into the Digital Learning Hub. So what is this Digital Learning Hub? Institute itself is providing so much online material, online videos, recorded lectures. So if people are not able to take coaching, they can go to the institute's website itself and log into the Digital Learning Hub and access all the online content. It's a kind of help for studying. Yes, so but first you have to pay the fee and register for CA Foundation before you can access Digital Learning Hub. Another question has come, can we start foundation coaching along with 11th class? I don't recommend that because after 11th there is 12th. 12th is the board exam and it's not like CA syllabus is matching with your 12th. Like for example, if you're a commerce student, you may either have chosen maths or economics. Both are not there, right? So, but in CA maths is also there, economics is also there. Then in CA law is there. And in CA accounts is there at a much advanced level than your 12th class. So yes, to some extent syllabus may be matching with 12th class syllabus, but CA foundation is very, very advanced compared to 12th class. So it is possible that if you start right from 11th CA coaching, it's possible that you may not be able to focus too much on 12th because in India, 12th class board exam marks are important for admission into universities, correct? Later, if you want to do a college degree or something, 12th class marks matter when you go to any good college for degree. So for that reason, it is preferable that you join CA Foundation coaching after you finish your 12th. Okay, I don't recommend. You can, but then I feel it will somewhere interfere with your 12th class board exam coachings, correct? Or it will be too early. In 11th, you have studied such advanced topics. By the time you come to CA Foundation, you will be needing again a second round of coaching probably. You would have forgotten those concepts. Those things are there. Okay, how next question is coming. How do you select 30 students? No, we don't select 30 students, whoever comes to us first. So we don't differentiate between students. Whoever comes to us first come, first served basis, we take 30 students. Then without doing degree, can we do CA? Yes, you can do CA. Many of my friends have done, many of my students are doing like that. They have not even started degree. They've already finished their foundation. Some people have finished their inter. They're already doing their 3 years of practical training without any degree. Absolutely possible without any degree. After 12th, you can only do CA and become a CA. No problem. Yes, you can do it without degree. Now, another question has come. Can I revise the books of class 11 and class 12 till lockdown opens and ICAI sends the books? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I have shown you the syllabus, right? Many things in the syllabus are matching, right? Like depreciation concepts are there in accounts, or you have final accounts, sole trader accounts, little bit of partnership accounts, like little bit of company accounts. These are all covered somewhere in 11th and 12th. Bank reconciliation trust statement has been taught in 11th. Reconciliation of errors has been taught in 11th. Yes, until the ICAI books arrive, you can absolutely refer to your 11th and 12th books. But when you are referring, try to understand them very, very conceptually. Okay, to what level you have understood in 11th, 12th, I am not sure. But now when you relook at that books to get your concepts right, because in CA what matters is in-depth conceptual understanding. Okay, another question has come. How to balance college attendance and CA coaching? Yeah, this is a very important question. Now, see, I'll tell you what is the ideal thing to do. If CA is really your priority, if that is only your life goal, no, I have decided I want to do CA and really I want to do it. In that case, BCom and CA should be the first priority. BCom should be the second priority. Okay, so we should not join those kind of colleges which are full-time colleges like morning 9 to evening 4 colleges running. Then morning 9 means you will be waking up at around 6:30 or 7 and going to college. So morning you don't have much time to study. And 4 o'clock the college ends. And let's say 5 o'clock you reach home and you get ready and go to some coaching at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 coaching. When will you come back home? When are you going to study for CA? When are you going to study for BCom? Time constraints will be there. So ideally, what I would suggest is either join a college which is lenient on attendance. There are many colleges, like for example, we have tie-ups with 2 colleges. Okay, there's a regular Bangalore University College, and there is another new college. We have tie-up with 2 colleges. Right now, we have tie-up with Jain College, and we have a tie-up with Transcend Degree College. So with both, we have a tie-up. In both cases, they don't insist on attendance. If you are attending our classes for CA Foundation, that itself is taken as the degree attendance. You will be given a hall ticket to just go and write the exams. One is an evening college. Transcend Degree College is an evening college. So if you want to go to college, you can still go in the evening, optional, but they don't insist on coming to the college. Similarly, Jain College is an online college. Classes happen online through on Saturdays and Sundays only. So that is also optional. You don't want to attend online classes, still they'll give you a hall ticket to write. And both degrees are Bangalore University degrees only. So no problem. So we would suggest that you prefer one of these 2 colleges. One is an evening college, you can still go and attend. One is an online college, you can still go and attend online classes. No, I want to go to a regular college. Morning 9 to 4 type of colleges, you can join, but it will become very, very challenging for you. If you are joining a regular college that opens at 9 and ends at 4, in that case, I would suggest not to take coaching. In that case, I would suggest, because if you 9 to 4 in college, then 2-3 hours in coaching center, then there's no time. You'll be damn tired. Because I've seen many such cases where students really burn out. They don't have energy at all. Correct? Because so much, morning to night they are in coaching, college, it will become very hectic. So if you are choosing a regular 9 to 4, 9 to 5 college, in that case, please don't take coaching. Try to do a self-study, seriously study, you can pass. So I would suggest that. Okay, next thing. So that's how you have to balance. So please choose colleges. If you want to balance attendance with college, please choose such colleges which don't insist on attendance, which will help you in doing CA, which will give you exemptions from attendance if you want to do CA. Only choose those kind of colleges. If you are coming to our academy, we would suggest you either choose Jain College or choose Transcend. Both are good. Both are classes also happen. If you're interested in the evening, you can still go and attend those classes. So no problem. But it's not mandatory. Okay, someone is asking how much is the course fees in our academy. Okay, our academy coaching fee for foundation level is 25,000 rupees, and coaching fee for CA inter level for all the subjects is 52,000 rupees, and at final level we charge subject wise. Per subject we charge 8,000 rupees at the CA final level. Okay, so foundation is what is relevant to you. For foundation, our institute coaching fees is 25,000 rupees. And as I told you, this is the coaching fee. Separately, registration fee, that is, you are paying directly to the CA Institute online before June 30th. That is around 10,000, 9,400 or something it comes to. But that amount includes the books also. They will send you books, but it's going to take time because of this lockdown. So another question has come. Which one is beneficial, CA with BCom regular or honors? Okay, I would suggest if you have to go for BCom or BCom honors, it is better to go for BCom honors, because BCom honors 80%, 90% syllabus of BCom honors matches with CA. So BCom honors preparation will help you in CA, CA preparation will help you in BCom honors. But the only problem is BCom honors, as far as I know, no evening college is giving. BCom honors is given by only those colleges which run from morning 9 to 3 or something. In that case, you will not have time for coaching. Suppose CA foundation level, maybe without coaching you may be able to clear. But what about CA intermediate level? Next level without coaching may be very difficult, because 8 subjects and very complex subjects are there. Correct? Without coaching might become difficult for you. Maybe you will clear the CA foundation level with a regular college. Inter level becomes slightly tight. But yes, if you ask me BCom or BCom honors, I would suggest BCom honors, because syllabus matches with CA to a large extent compared to regular BCom. Then there's one more question that has come. Can we do open university while we are doing BCom and foundation course? Absolutely. In fact, there is a beautiful scheme which the CA Institute itself has. CA Institute has a tie-up with Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU. Okay, which is a recognized university by the government, central government. It's a government university for distance learning. It's an open university. So they have a tie-up with them. It's very easy. All you have to do is first clear CA foundation. The minute you see a clear, normally BCom is 3 years, right? But you don't have to do a 3-year BCom. First clear foundation exam this November. By January, CA foundation will be over. Once CA foundation is over, you have to register for IGNOU through our CA Institute only for BCom. Since you have already cleared CA foundation, instead of 3 years, your BCom is just 1 year. That's it. 1 year BCom, every Saturday, Sunday, they'll have classes. You can go to those classes every Saturday, Sunday. After 1 year, 6 exams you have to give, 6 papers. Give that, that's it. Your BCom is done, but you will get the BCom degree in your hand only when you complete your CA intermediate level. Getting the logic? You can register for IGNOU BCom through CA Institute. They have a tie-up, and your 3-year BCom becomes just 1 year, and you just have to write 6 papers, and you'll get a BCom degree. But when will you get? Whenever you clear CA intermediate, because since you have cleared CA intermediate, such complex subjects, much more complex than BCom degree is given to you for free, basically. Got the logic? So yes, you can do open university also. If you are doing open university, then better to do this IGNOU university rather than doing 3 years. Just in 1 year, you're getting the same BCom degree and recognized degree from Indira Gandhi National Open University. So that's about the questions. So I hope I've answered all the questions. If you have any further questions, just let me know. Another question has come. After degree, can we do CA? Yes, you can do CA. If after degree you do CA, you don't have to go through the first level. First level we saw CA foundation, second CA intermediate, third CA final. If after degree you are directly joining CA, you don't have to do foundation. You can directly join CA inter level. Okay, now you can directly join CA inter level if you do after degree, but there is a rule is, suppose you are doing a degree which is commerce degree like a BCom or a BBA or a BCom honors, minimum your total score in graduation should be minimum 55%. If you don't score 55%, if your graduation percentage is less than 55%, even after graduation you have to again start from CA foundation level. But if commerce degree you have and you have minimum 55% in the commerce degree, you can skip CA foundation. Directly you can start off with CA inter. Only thing is extra 2-3 years it will take. From now, if you start from now 4.5 years. After degree you start, after degree it will around 4 years. So if you are around 18 years now, By 22 and a half, you can become a CA through foundation route. After degree, if you join, that is called direct entry route. Direct entry means directly you will be entering into CA interlevel, correct? So through direct entry route, maybe you will become a CA maybe by 25 or 26 years old, because extra time it's going to take. That extra 3 years of degree, that's going to take extra. Okay. Now, another question has come is also commerce degree, you have to get 55%. So no, sir, I did non-commerce degree. Like you have done BSc or BA, then you have to get 60% in graduation. Getting it? Commerce degree, if you have 55%, it's enough. Non-commerce degree, you need to score 60% in the degree. Only then you can join through direct entry scheme directly into C entry. If your percentages are less than that, commerce degree less than 55, non-commerce degree less than 60, then you have to again go through CA foundation route only. Clear? Another question has come, how to register with Kavach. Okay, how to register with Kavach. So what I'll do is, let me share my phone number on this chat only. So I think some majority have it maybe, but let me share my phone number. You can WhatsApp me. Then I can let you know the registration procedure, how to pay the fee, and when to pay the fee. Okay, so the first number which I have shared, 4441, that's my WhatsApp number. And the second number which I have just shared is my calling number. The second number doesn't have WhatsApp on it. The second number is the calling number. First number is the WhatsApp number. You can save these numbers. Any guidance, anything you want to know, you can always get in touch with me. And for registration also, if you can just WhatsApp me or call me, I can let you know how you can pay and how you can register for CA in our academy. Now, another question has come. What's the difference between BCom and BCom honors? Now, BCom has regular subjects like accounts, law, auditing, taxation, costing, these kind of subjects, financial management. But when you go to BCom honors, little advanced subjects get added. Subjects like advanced tax planning, okay, subjects like advanced financial management, advanced auditing, advanced law. So basically, BCom honors syllabus is more than normal BCom. In normal BCom, you have again some languages, this and that, and lot of other subjects also. In BCom honors, it's very, very focused. Whatever you have seen in CA course, I've shown you the CA inter syllabus, right? Pretty much all those topics will be covered in your BCom honors. So BCom honors is tougher than BCom. The subjects are more complex. There are more number of subjects. So that's the difference. So BCom is targeting you to just become an accountant, whereas BCom honors is it's making you an, that's why the word honors is getting added, right? But honors is you're studying some extra subjects as well. Okay, not just an accountant, it's little more than that. So extra subjects, it's tougher than normal BCom. But its syllabus is matching close to CA. Now, another question has come, after BCom degree, can I get any exemption from CS or CMA? Absolutely, same exemption you'll get. That is the first level exemption. If you're after degree and you have that 55-60 percentage you have, then you can get exemption from CA foundation. If you want to do CS foundation exemption. If you want to do CMA, CA foundation exemption. Correct, you will get all that. So someone, Geeta, is asking me, which one do you recommend? As I told you, between BCom and BCom honors, first of all, I would recommend whatever you are doing now, do it with a college which will give you time to study. Don't do with colleges which tell you that 9 to 5 you have to sit here only. Sunday you have to come for some other thing, some assignment. So much hectic if it is there, then you will not be able to concentrate on CA. So choose colleges which support CA, which tell you that it's okay. You need not come to college. You can go to coaching centers. You can attend classes. You can study. You don't have to regularly come to college. Those colleges are ideal because you need a lot of time to do CA, a lot of coaching. See, for example, CA foundation, once we get into full form, we'll be doing around 4 hours a day classes for foundation itself. When we go to inter we'll be doing around 6 hours of classes per day. Correct? So a lot of time in classroom, and after classroom you have to go back home and study. Inter level we recommend at least 3-4 hours per day. Foundation level minimum 1-2 hours per day you have to study. So 10 hours per day going here only. So college, how will you fit in? If college itself takes 10 hours, this is another 10 hours. When will you sleep? When will you study? That's the problem. Okay, so choose a college which is lenient on the attendance portion. But no, I want to join a regular college. Now tell me whether should BCom is better, BCom honors better. Then BCom honors is better because the syllabus is matching with CA. Now another question has come. So would we not be able to handle both BCom honors and CA? Depends on individual capacity. Okay, I have seen cases of students with for regular BCom also they could handle CA. Then I have seen students who could handle CA with morning college. Morning college means morning 7 to 1:30 college will be there. After 1:30 they used to come to coaching is for CA inter. And from 2:30 to 6:30 coaching with us. 6:30 they used to leave the institute. They used to reach their home at night, 8 o'clock or something. Then they're already tired, but still somehow they'll study 1 hour and then sleep because again morning they have to wake up at 5 o'clock. It was very hectic, but some people could clear with that pressure. On the other hand, we have seen other people also without BCom, without anything, only CR they are doing, and still they are not clearing because they are not studying properly. So it all depends on individual capacity. But ideally now, see the advantage with Transcend kind of a college. Let's say we have a type of Transcend college. So Transcend has a morning college also, has an evening college also. Both Transcend have both of them. So they have an option also. If you can manage with regular college, you can attend regular college. The day you feel no, I'm not able to manage with regular college, they give an option to shift into evening college. This kind of flexibility every college does not give. For example, Bangalore has St. Joseph's College, which has morning also, evening also. If you take morning regular college, later if you feel with morning college I'm not able to concentrate on CA, so can I shift to evening? They will not allow you to shift to evening. Getting the logic? So better to choose these kind of colleges which are flexible, which are giving you both alternatives. Morning college you can manage CA, manage it. No, I'm not able to manage. They are giving you option to shift into evening. Or like this Jain College, their classes are only online on weekends, so it really doesn't matter. So only weekend classes. Other days you can aram say attend the coaching. It will not clash. So better to choose these kind of colleges. Can we manage BCom honors and CA together? It purely depends on your personal commitment, your personal energy levels. You can, they can every day long hours, long schedules, and within that, can you take out time to study? It depends on individual. Possible, but challenging. Someone is asking to share this PPT. Absolutely. Whoever wants a copy of this PPT, I suggest you can, or let me share it right away if it's possible. Just give me a second. Let me share it. 1 minute. Let me try sharing it. Okay. Any other questions do you have uh, sorry, before we conclude? Okay, you're saying, do we have only 6 months for CA final preparation? Or no, see, CA final preparation, you should start off right when you are doing this. Right when you have started articleship itself, you should start off CA final preparation. You should not wait till the end. Okay, so 3 years you have got. So not 6 months, it is 3 years. So along with article training only you have to prepare. But article training is a full-time job. Okay, morning to night you will be in office. So difficulty comes is when to take coaching, how to take coaching. So nowadays people have three options for coaching at final level. So they have 3 years to prepare for final, not 6 months, because you have finished off your CA inter, then you started off 3 years training, then 2.5 years training is over, then you go for final exam. So you have 2.5 years time to prepare, but along with office. So you can either join early morning classes 6:30 to 8:30, then go to office, or join late night classes. That is, office is over by 6, then you go to class from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. Or if this is becoming very cumbersome and hectic for you, difficult for you, then you can choose online classes, online video classes or something you can choose. So those are the options, but not 6 months. You have 2.5 years for preparing CA final, but along with office only, you will have to prepare. Along with office only, somehow you'll have to take coaching. Somehow you have to take time on weekends whenever you get time to study, and that's all. Because the real charm of CA is the training. Why does a chartered accountant get paid so heavily in the market? You will never find a single chartered accountant who does not have a job. Correct? You'll not find a single chartered accountant who is not having a job. Why are they so much in demand? because of this training only. They have 3 years of practical experience. Which degree has this advantage? Tell me. Which degree has the advantage that by the time you are finishing the degree, you already have 3 years of practical experience? So that's the whole charm. So that cannot be avoided. Your coaching is lesser important. Training is more important than coaching. So during training, somehow you have to squeeze in coaching. And by the CA final level, you should be clever enough to understand that if 8 subjects are there, I don't have to take coaching for all the 8 subjects. Correct? Na? So you can choose which subjects you want to take coaching. You can choose that. Correct? Accordingly, then you can decide whether you want coaching for all the subjects or you want for only a few subjects. Accordingly, you can plan it. Is the logic clear? Let me know if any other questions you have, anything else you want to know before we end the call. The PPT someone has asked, let me share that to you. I'll be sharing it on the chat right now. Check if you have received it. Okay, I have just shared the PPT on the chat which we are having right now. Have you received it? Hope you have received the PPT. Just check once. Great. Okay. Can we end the call or any other questions? So anyway, I've shared my both numbers, WhatsApp number and my calling number. Any questions or any guidance, whether you join our academy or not, doesn't matter. Whether you will do CA or not, doesn't matter. Any career guidance, anything you want to know before you make choices for your career, you can always get in touch with me so that we can help you out. Okay. So probably we'll be having one more such seminar later, maybe in a week's time or so. So in case any of your friends, you want them to attend, if you found it useful and you want your friends to take benefit of this, so we'll be announcing similar seminar again, maybe in 4 or 5 days. So you can let your friends or other people know, whomever you want, whomever you think that they need help, you can share this. You can share that with me. Anyone wants to get in touch with me, you can WhatsApp me or you can call me. Okay, any other questions? Can we end the call? So thank you everyone for attending this. Hope the session was helpful. Hope you got a clear idea about what the course is, what the subjects are. So choose CA only if you really think those subjects are for you. If you think you will be enjoying those subjects, only then take it. If you think, no, this is not my cup of tea, these subjects are not interesting, okay, then don't do it. So you need to enjoy whatever you take up. So see the subjects carefully. If you want, I can just share the CA brochure also. Just give me a second. Let me share the whole CA brochure with you. So you can, aram se you can check those and then you can choose. You can read through the whole brochure and then maybe you can take a call. Okay, just 1 minute. Hold on. Let me share that also with you. So that is the CA Institute's brochure. If you can go through the whole thing, you will get a lot of literature there. It's almost 100, 200 pages, which tells you what CA is all about in depth. So I have given you a brief view. There's a whole, literature on that. Okay, I hope you have received that file just now. So that's the whole prospectus. If you read it, everything will be clear. So if you are joining CA, registration has to be done before 20th of June online in the CA website. If you want to join coaching with us, you need to register so that first class is happening on 4th May. From then on, online classes will start off and we take only on first come first served basis. You can register. For registration, you can message me or call me. No problem. Done. So thank you guys. So I will be having another seminar and I'll keep you updated and you guys can share it with whoever would be interested. So see you guys. I'll be ending the call now, right? So thank you everyone.